This time, I'll take you with me to finish a drawing I started years ago in the Atlanta Peachtree Center Mall. Stay to the end of the video where I will share 3 more mixed media art tips. But first, I want to tell you a story. I plan to participate in a sketchbook experiment where artists from all over the world filled sketchbooks, registered them online, and then sent their physical copies to the sketchbook project. I was attracted to the idea and I ordered one for $60. They were building a library of sketchbooks with online access, and I thought that having my work in their library could benefit me by getting more eyes on my work. I hoped to include my blog's internet address and all my social media links on the sketchbook pages. The deadline to finish the book and send back to them was March 2019. And as you can see, the book is still unfinished. So I missed the cutoff date by a mile. I felt so frustrated with myself for being unable to meet the deadline to become a part of what they were calling the largest collection of sketchbooks in the world. Every time I looked at the 5x7 sketchbook with only 32 pages, it reminded me of my failed attempt to join my artwork with all the other artists that submitted their work to the project on time. Then, in February 2022, the Brooklyn Art Library's moving trailer that held all the sketchbooks for the project caught fire, and 30% of the books were destroyed. I have never been so glad to have missed a deadline before. At first, missing the deadline felt like such a failure. But when I heard about the fire, it made me pause. And it reminded me of Romans 8:28. And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. Sometimes what looks like a missed opportunity or even a failure is really just God's way of protecting us or redirecting our steps. If I'd pushed myself to finish just to meet that deadline, my work might have been lost in that fire. Instead, here I am, years later, still able to share it with you. It was a good reminder for me that our timing isn't always God's timing. Looking back, it was unrealistic of me to expect to finish a whole sketchbook in a few months, even if it is only 32 pages. Some artists can do this, but generally it takes me years to finish one. So, even though I spent $60 on this sketchbook, and I would never spend that much on a sketchbook, I feel like it is a gift. Now I have no pressure to fill the sketchbook other than to make content. I have included a tour of the sketchbook in its unfinished state. Most of the pages have a base layer, but no drawing. It will be good to do a remix of this tour with more drawings and typography. This sketch became a mixed media moment when I decided to use a variety of art supplies to finish it. This bouquet of flowers was one of the many arrangements that the florist placed around the mall to advertise her skills. I wanted to offer her a print of one of the drawings I made of her work, but just looking at the book itself gave me feelings of disappointment, so work in it was almost halted entirely until news of the fire. Happily, I still have the reference photo I took almost 6 years ago, and I used it to finish this sketch. The first day, as I sat in the mall on my lunch hour, I used watercolor to sketch out the shape of the flowers in the vase. Sometime later, I sprayed the sketch with a green acrylic spray. I did a bit of reverse coloring by outlining some of the flowers in vase with a fine liner. I would say the drawing was about half done at the start of this video. The arrtx acrylic paint markers I recently acquired are perfect for the completion of this sketch. I used several greens, especially the darkest green, several yellows, especially the pale one, the white, the pink, and several grays. For the darkest darks, I used a uni-ball jet stream, dark green, and finally, I used a pale blue gellyroll moonlight pen to draw a border around the bouquet with a ruler. This sketchbook has no empty pages, and yet it is still unfinished. Almost all the pages have a base layer that I plan to draw on top of, like in my previous video. I'm starting to care less and less about how long it takes me to fill a sketchbook, except that I am looking forward to sharing sketchbook tour videos, which is my #1 tip. When you are working in your sketchbook, don't worry about trying to finish a page. Instead, use your chosen tool or medium on many pages of your sketchbook. Just enjoy yourself, no pressure. Tip number 2. Have several sketchbooks developing at once so that while you're waiting for paint to dry in one, you can move on to another one. Tip number 3. Smudges, drips, or torn paper, embrace them. They add character. I hope that this inspires you to grab a few of your favorite supplies and have a little mixed media moment of your own. If you enjoyed this video, check out that first bouquet video too. I'll link it below. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thank you for watching.